My name is R. James Fever, and I've been photographing the various projects and work of Love Like Romania for the past few years. The areas which I would like to focus on and speak about today are the desperate struggle faced by poor families and individuals living in Romania, and also about the hope which Love Light has managed to provide for them. Despite being members of the European Union for the past 3 years, the poverty in Romania is extremely real. And although I only photographed a small area of Romania, it's quite clear the problem is widespread. And there's people and families living in miserable conditions with no means of escape or even support. It's very clear to me that Love Light are committed to providing the children who are born into these environments a life with hope and a life which has a future. And I think it's incredibly important that the work of Love Light continues. So I hope sharing some of these pictures and the stories behind the pictures will get you to really understand just how passionate these people are about their work. Back in 2007, when I first went to Love Light, I met Mariana, who was very inspirational to me for what she sacrificed and gave up and believed in for Pasida there and Christy. They're two wonderful children, both of them incredible characters, and bring such joy to so many people at the sanctuary. And when we went to the rubbish dump and I got to meet Mariana, you could see just from where she lived how much pride she had. And even though she lived on this rubbish dump and she didn't have hardly any money or anything, she kept the place as best she could. I mean, she had all things in there that a lot of families would have in their houses. And it was quite humbling, really, that she knew that this was all going to end. She was terminally ill with AIDS, and she gave Christy and Pasida such an incredible gift by putting them in the care of Love Like Romania. She'd given them a chance in life to escape the things that she could never escape. And I remember this picture. It's a very sad picture for me because it's a lot of memories there, I guess. And we went to pick her up and we were going to bring her to the sanctuary, and I remember she stopped at the garage and she wanted to buy Christy and Pasida some little sweets, so we did that, and she was very emotional, I mean, very sad and probably in pain as well, but I can remember that Pasida would just looking at her in awe all the time, and she asked me to take a picture, and I don't ever really take pictures like this all that much, but I didn't mind. I mean, I wanted to do anything that I could for her, and she looked so sad in this picture. It was very difficult seeing them say goodbye to their mum. They were both very upset, and even after she died, I mean, they don't stop talking about her. They know everything about her. They visit her graveside, and they understand her and what she did for them. And I think that's so important that Joe and Love Light have kept that in their lives. And she is an amazing lady, Mariana. When I went back to Romania in 2008, 2009, Erica was one of the main priorities. She was living still on the rubbish dump, and she was struggling, tremendously struggling. I mean, her children were filthy, they were living in squalid conditions, and I mean, this is the same house that Mariana lived in, and you can see it's now just a bombed out shell. And she was at breaking point, I feel. I mean, this picture here, you can see it. I mean, I never asked people to sit a certain way or I was always asked people just to be natural, and you can see that the stress and the anxiety on her face is so clear. And she then said that she was pregnant, and at that point Lovelight was so committed to making sure that she had everything that she needed, and wanted her to get off that rubbish dump with her family. And it was a personal mission for them. I mean, they were completely dedicated to it, obsessive even, that that was what had to happen. And when she did give birth and the baby actually lived there on the rubbish dump, it was something I've never witnessed before. I mean, this picture here, I think Ursula there was probably only a few months old, and it's just incredible to think that this baby's there on the rubbish dump. And so it was very hard on everybody. It was very frustrating because we put out a lot of presentations, a lot of pictures, and contacted media, and no one really, with any authority, would do much about it. And so we'd go back week after week, day after day, and Joe and everyone would bring parcels and food and nappies for the baby, but it was just such a struggle. I mean, their existence was very much like these pictures, because it was very hard to get any light in there. It was very dark and dingy, and there was pockets of light scattered around, and it was very representative of how their life in that shack was. I can remember looking out her front door, if you like, and seeing this view, and just thinking, God, I mean, if this is what you have to see every day, it's so hard on Erica. But Lovelight never gave up on them. Their priority was always the children, always the baby, and making sure that Erica had everything that she needed, and completely dedicated to her. Because it wasn't just Christine Puseda that Mirjana wanted to have a future. It was Erica and her children as well, and so to this day, even though Erica's not living on the rubbish dump anymore, she's still living in terrible conditions. Joe and Ron and Rob will always continue to fight for them, always continue to make sure that they can provide them with a quality of life which any human being should have. And I do hope that one day we'll be able to find a solution for Erica where she can have all those things and she can live an independent life. Somebody else who I'd like to speak about is a guy called Ludovic. He's Mirjana's husband and Christine Puseda's dad, and since Erica moved off the rubbish dump, he lived in the shack there. And he's really the product of a Ceausescu generation. I mean, he has struggled his entire life and lives alone in the shack with such painful memories. I mean, his wife's died, his children are in care, and his other daughter lives in terrible poverty, and I'm just amazed of. He's very jovial at times. I mean, he'll show you pictures and talk about his life and things, but he is somebody that still gets support from Lovelight, and I wanted to photograph him on Christmas Day. I wanted to show people what his life was like on Christmas Day, and this picture was shot. Me and someone very kind called Marius wanted to come and help me, so we went and we wanted to take pictures of how it was for him, and he was okay. I mean, he got up and he had his coffee and he had a wash, and he's an incredible man, because he was still cracking jokes then, but then he starts talking about the past and talking about his life, and he gets very upset, and so we said, let's go and see Christine Puseda, and so he said, yep, that's fine, and he wanted to clean his room and clean up the place before he left, so he did all that, and we went, and he was talking along the way, and he was talking about, you know, what Christmas was like when Mariana was there, and when his children were there, and it just struck me that, you know, this is a man that has lost everything important to him, everything special to him, and the only one place that he can rely on is someone like Lovelight and the Sanctuary, and he can go there and he can see his children, and I know he's so grateful of that, and he's just somebody that is another example of who Lovelight helped. In my experience, Lovelight Romania are the true definition of charity. They do not have huge offices, huge workforces. They are dedicated people, dedicated to helping those who are poor, sick, discriminated against, or people who have just been left aside and forgotten by society. Their work is critical and makes a huge difference to all the lives of the people you have seen within these pictures. Thank you.